Well, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's a political show, which led us to wonder what remains of the great Irish political tradition of bluster and blarney.
Imagine one Irishman trying to corner another Irishman in the Oval Office.
Think Ted Kennedy, Tip O'Neill, and Ronald Reagan. The larger question is, does bluster and blarney still exist in an age of presidents and porn stars?
Not as much as it used to be, but yeah. But go Irish.
Certainly, there's no crossing of the aisle anymore.
Yeah.
People are stuck in their trenches.
Well, there's a lot of blarney.
Holy cow.
If it exists, certainly not in the federal government.
Yeah.
I would say maybe in the city of Boston.
Any political leader you can think of that exemplifies it today?
The Kennedys.
Is it R.I.P. for bluster and blarney?
No. You know why? Long as they still have the green beer, they'll be all right.
Well, that guy did have a Yankee hat on, so you can sprinkle that in there. On this St. Patrick's Day weekend, let me introduce our OTR political analyst, Marianne Omar.
You forgot to wear green.
You forgot to wear green today from the County Boston and Republican Rob O'Gray. Of the County
Gray,
of Belmont.
Gray is actually Irish.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't need the O.
You don't. Well, you don't need the O. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an old Fitzgerald. I'm a quarter Fitzgerald. So.
Yeah, I'm half O'Brien.
All of these are better than Owu. Owu just doesn't make it.
Oh,
Okay, on more serious subjects, you just heard Speaker DeLeo on the latest sexual harassment charges in the House. Is his explanation believable, and will this go away, Rob?
I thought he was believable. He looked genuine in terms of wanting to reform the House. And if we look at it impartially, I think you have to say, based on if the story is what we know now in terms of the House and only that, the Senate is far, far worse. So by comparison, I think that politically, what's going on in the state Senate is going to take precedence and be covered a lot more.
Did you believe what Speaker DeLeo told us?
yeah, and I think everything discussed on DeLeo's behalf and the story itself can all be true. I believe that DeLeo personally did not know about this and knew and did not know that it involved sexual harassment. I have no trouble believing DeZoglio's claim that she was sexually harassed. So I think the best thing that can come out of all of this are the reforms that they're working on this week and worked on in this past week, and that her full true story comes out. I think that's the most important thing here, and I agree with Rob. The Senate's got more problems, but they all need to fix it.
I want to move on to student marches right now. Student marches and walkouts are not subsiding across the country. In fact, they continue to build, and there will be one on March 24th in Washington. So how much can these weekly actions move Washington, Marianne? Because the president, honestly, is like here. He's all over here.
Okay, that's a whole show right there.
No.
It's already made a change. Look what happened in Florida. Florida had passed and signed gun control legislation, reforms that you would never have expected to come out of Florida. So what these kids do will change in every state. Now, the Massachusetts kids, that was a snow day, and they went out and protested anyways. So good for them. So the more you work in your states, the more it influences D.C. These kids are becoming activists, they're becoming voters, and they're going to create change, because if not, anyone who doesn't vote with them will get changed right out of office.
Yeah, that's the thing, Rob. They are growing up, and they are going to be voters. And it's inevitable.
They are, and they're organized and effective and doing and saying the right things. And Marianne had it right. A pro-gun governor of one of the most pro-gun states in Florida has reformed gun laws. I think they have a chance in Washington. I think they're going to move the needle. The question is how much. I don't think the needle is going to move as much as we all might like, but I think it will move.
Congressman Seth Moulton put a lot of political chits into that Pennsylvania congressional race. Looking like Democrat Conor Lamb won in what was a big Trump district in 2016. Read the political tea leaves here, Marianne.
Well, first, the bigger point here is that there are 114 other congressional districts that are more competitive than the one Conor Lamb won. So Democrats have a shot at all of them, and they only need to win 23 of them. So they could lose one. They only need to win 1 out of every 5. That is bad for the Republicans. 2, Seth Moulton recruited Conor Lamb to run. He wants more veterans in the Congress with him, but at the same time, it's also raising his profile nationally. It's clearly he's looking to make a move there, too.
Good for Seth Moulton and good for the Democrats, do you think?
I mean, I think it's somewhat good for Moulton. We don't have to make too much of it, but let's be clear. Republican congressional candidates are dragging an anchor with a big gold T emblazoned on it for Trump, right? I mean, there has been underperformance in all the special elections, in the off-year gubernatorial election in Virginia. This was a plus 20 Trump district, a plus 17 Romney district, and the Republican loss. That's bad news going forward. 41 Republican resignations while their party is in power as well. That's unprecedented.
No, the highest number in over 90 years.
That's right.
The president will be in New Hampshire tomorrow, on Monday, at opioid events. Yeah. So he's in our own backyard.
Well, he campaigned in New Hampshire on opioids, said he would do everything to solve it. That was his claim to fame. He's done nothing and put Kellyanne Conway in charge. Come on.
And he better pick his spots where he goes to campaign, because in a lot of districts, in a lot of states, he's Typhoid Donald.
Is he going to have trouble in New Hampshire?
Yes.
I think
Democrats
so.
are going to clean
I
up
think
there,
so.
too.
Yeah.
Fact.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.